Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Sierra, and this video is going to be about all the books and Substack posts that I've read / posted. Just a January recap, really. I didn't just say that. But let's go ahead and dive on into my story graph first, and we'll go from there. So I read 7 books. The average time it took me was about like 5 days. My top 3 moods were hopeful, emotional, and mysterious. Most of my books were in medium pace, 17% slow pace. Majority of my books were less than 300 pages. And what is this? 29%. 2 books were about 300 to 499 pages. I've read only fiction so far. My top 4 genres are YA, romance, horror, and fantasy as of now. I don't know if I'll be reading that much romance. We'll see. I don't know. I feel more like in my mystery bag right now. Mystery, thriller, literary fiction. I guess it depends on the romance. Because like I said, I did this bookshelf. These are all the books on my bookshelf that I need to read. The other one has all the books I already read. There's a few romance books on here, but I don't even think it's that many. If I'm being quite honest, not that many. I mean, I have Reclaim Me, 7 Days in June. Yeah, dang. Like if we're talking about like solid romance books, not like romance that's a little subplot. There's literally only 2 books on this bookshelf, on this entire bookshelf that's like purely romance. I have a lot of like thrillers, mysteries, some fantasy, but yeah, not really any romance. Okay, then I might knock these books out a little bit faster. I'm trying to get through books that I own as well as the books that I have through Libby because I have a problem. But yeah, if anything, my genres will definitely. Romance is gonna take a dive. It's gonna take a nosedive down. I think I'm probably gonna read just maybe 4 romance books because I have 2 more that I do want to read by Aaliyah Deanna. I have 2 more for books that I want to read, but that's really it romance wise. I'm not really in a romance mood if I'm being completely honest. Format 278 pages, but the most is audio, so 32.48 hours. Most read author is B Love. I did read 4 B Love romance books. That's probably why. Okay, so then total romance books will probably be 8 maybe for this year. I'm not expecting it to be that many. Yeah, and my average rating is actually a 3.82. Yeah, because I just finished a book that I rated 5 stars. I haven't put it in Storygraph yet, but I literally wrote it down and just gave it 5. I only have 1 5-star read so far. So yeah, I'm very picky when it comes to giving stars 5-star ratings, but that's all that I have so far. But I actually want to do a segment because I actually been writing down summaries of the books that I've been reading to give myself more just sitting with the book more, thinking about it, and also just keeping track of the books that I'm reading in a little bit more detail, especially when I do these videos. I have a little bit more to back up what I feel about the book, so I'm not constantly forgetting everything, because that was my issue. I would say last year and even the year before, I read so many books and I just forget what the story was or what the characters were doing. There was actually a part in one of my videos, I edited it out, but there was one part in one of my videos where I was literally talking about the wrong romance book. I was talking about the other one, not the second one. That kind of stuff. I do not want to be doing that anymore. So we are doing better. So I just have a regular composition notebook because I am not paying no $25.99 for no specific book about book reviews, but also I don't want those extra pages either. I don't need the the pages of the books and like coloring the books to see how many like books, because I don't have like a book reading goal. I feel like using that is like more of like a book reading goal thing. If anything, I just want to do more like write more book reviews. But also not just writing it down, but like doing that for the channel. So like doing separate videos on them, and also Substack posts too. So like doing it more intentional and more thorough with how I analyze the books, the characters type of thing. Like I do on my main channel when I talk about like Degrassi and TV shows like that. I just want to be more intentional and more thorough when it comes to analyzing books. I've done like more deeper analysis of books before on my other channel, on the other book content over there. But I just want to like stick with that and just do that more in depth than anything. But let's go ahead and get into the notebook, because I only have 7 books, so this shouldn't take too long. I didn't write too much on these pages. So yeah. All right. I'm gonna shut up now. Just get into it. So the first book I read was You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Geneva Rose. It is a thriller, fiction. And this was the first audiobook. I listened to it with my boyfriend on our way to our New Year's trip at Frankenmuth. And it was about 8 hours and a minute long. Started it on the 31st. We finished it on the 1st of January. And it was an audiobook, obviously. I rated it 3.5 stars. And this is why. I'll literally just read what I said. It was a good book, but the twist made no sense. If there was more hints along the way, then it would have made more sense. The romance obsession at the beginning was very interesting, plus the town was weird in general. I would have loved to have more evidence to prove that Grace was an unreliable narrator. So I'm not going to give away the entire story, but if you've read the book, then you know the twist. I didn't like that because there wasn't any details along the way. I would have loved to have just seen more hints about Grace being the unreliable narrator, like maybe doing certain things that makes you question who she is and what her motives are, type of thing. Then it would have been more believable, but that wasn't it. And so me and my boyfriend actually theorized that maybe that there was a different ending, and that maybe like the editor was like, oh, let's switch up the ending, or like we need to make it like a little bit more intense and more dramatic. And it was just like a last minute decision to make Grace the way she is, which made everything so jarring and weird at the end. So I feel like that was definitely probably like a last minute decision. Not to say it was bad, but just if you're gonna do that, at least give us the things along the way to prove that would have been a sufficient ending. Like, I'm just saying. My boyfriend had a different opinion. Well, not a different opinion. We had roughly the same opinion, but he did have an opinion about the very, very end, about Grace's family. And she was like, oh, now we're going to have like, she's just like blah, 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 like putting her hand on her head. Like, I felt that was unnecessary too. Like, we did not need to have that element of surprise at the end or whatever. I was just like, that has nothing to do with her. And this is not even like a series or anything like that, so I didn't get the point in doing that either. But that's not to say the book was bad. The book was very interesting, especially at the beginning, with not only Grace, but the town and everyone's weird relationship with the mailman character and the weirdness of them all. Yeah, it was very weird. I liked it. It gave me like Lifetime movie, kind of. And I love me a Lifetime movie. Next one is Her Exception, number 1. It is a trilogy by B. Love. Romance. I listened to this one also, 4 hours and 59 minutes. I started on the 3rd, I finished on the 5th, and I rated it 4 stars. So here we go, because this is what I mean too, because like especially like with these romances, especially trilogies, I forget which story is whose. So another reason why I was like writing this down. So here's my book review for Her Exception, part 1. Shalom and Mecca's relationship was a very emotional relationship. I always will read about grief and loss, and the twist of who caused it and what made everything very fell apart between them was very realistic. I really like that. I also like the family dynamics and the fact that Shalom and Mecca's hatred for each other was coded in fear. It was like it was more fear-based than anything versus hearsay or anything like that. It was a lot of what they were both dealing with internally with this shared loss, this shared grief, that it made it harder for them to talk to each other. And not to say like it was like miscommunication or whatever. It was purely like the grief and the loss of the situation and their relationship is what really amplified this struggle between them. I will also say that the mess with the girl at the end was very unnecessary. I forgot her name, but she's irrelevant because it was stupid. It was so stupid. I believe it was Mecca's ex. I forgot her name, but that was dumb. I hated it. I was like, why is that here? We could have wrapped this up like a chapter ago. Like, we did not need this. But that was like my only like gripe with it, pretty much. Moving on to Her Exception Part 2. This one I also listened to 4 hours and 41 minutes. I started it on the 6th and I finished it in a day on the 7th. Also rated it 4 stars. But this one was a little bit different. Amelia. Every time they called her Millie, I couldn't help but sing Amelie. Like I just couldn't. I couldn't help it. I was just like, Amelie. I was like, I can't. I have to finish this book. So that's my fault. So Amelia and Amaru had such a cute dynamic and lifelong connection. Their friendship was so honest and loving. Plus, they practically raised their kids together. It made that much easier and believable that they ended up getting together. I did appreciate I did appreciate nipping Amelia's relationship in the bud very early on, because Amelia was in a relationship with somebody else at the beginning of the story, and I didn't linger because this was literally a novella. It's only 4 hours long. So I'm glad that it didn't take 2 hours. It didn't take like 2 hours to get to the point. We literally got that relationship ended within like the first, like, I think it was like 35 minutes. I was like, thank you. So we spent more time building this other relationship, even though it was already pretty solid. It gave more time for for Amaru and Amelia's relationship to build and make sense. So it's not like all of a sudden romance and it's like, wait, what? You guys love each other? I'm so confused. No, like, it was very believable. I love that that fast start, that ending of that first relationship very quickly. Also too, that was also very realistic, because it's like you could have all these hopes and dreams and these ideas of like what your future is going to look like, but things completely change. People get new jobs, people move away, things change, and not everything works out how you want it to. It was unfortunate though that because Amelia does have a daughter, that it did impact her as well as Amelia. And Amelia didn't like introducing men to her daughter. Like, this wasn't something that she's done, like bringing random men into her daughter's life or anything like that. This was a solid relationship that she was in, and so it was just it was hard for her to deal with that, because it was such a change, and she's not the type of person to bring men in and out of the house that would impact her daughter. So that was sad to read, but it's best to be also realistic when it comes to those type of things. Even though like life changes, things happen, you could have plans for the future, but things change. But I also like the fact that Amelia isn't the type of mom to be having a whole bunch of men up in the house. Yes. Also, that we didn't get like a cheating storyline either, because that happened in a different book I was reading. It was Alexandria House, Be With Me. I did not like that female main character anyway. She got on my nerves. That whole storyline, I was so unnecessary. Not to say the book was bad, but just the dynamic of the female main character and the male main character, the whole cheating storyline, it felt very unnecessary. So I'm glad that we didn't have that in here. It was very much just like her dealing with the loss of that relationship and how that impacts her and her daughter and her relationship, her future relationships moving forward. Also the relationship with her, I believe it was with her father, with Amelia's daughter's dad, that type of thing. It just made Amelia think about all the different things that has impacted her and how it will impact her daughter. And as annoying as Mecca's ex was, I do appreciate the representation of a deadbeat mother, because it's not as common in the media, at least not the media I've consumed, because Mecca's son's mother is a deadbeat mother. Like, this girl, this woman. She literally was like, I will come see him in 6 years. Like, I would understand, like, the first 6 months, because, you know, she was pregnant or whatever, like, dealing with, like, the pregnancy, the first 6 months of, you know, the baby being born, because especially during that time, that's along with the pregnancy, those are, like, the first, like, crucial months, too, as well. You got to make sure that everything's in order, because babies be passing away, being in the hospital. There's always so much going on, but also just adjusting to that life of being a new parent to a newborn type of thing. So 6 months would have made sense, but 6 years, I was like, I'm gonna slap her for y'all. She pissed me off. Okay, I hated her for that. Moving on to Black Girl Sorcerer by Aaliyah Deanna, and this one is more of like a supernatural horror fiction book. It was 35 pages. I started on the 11th, finished on the 11th on my Kindle. Also rated it 4 stars. What I wrote is it was a quick story. It was a good quick story. I'm intrigued to see where it goes. I saw that there is a second book, so I hope it follows Victoria using her powers to help others who are enslaved. The giant twist of Victoria's friend Estelle was the perfect catalyst for Victoria to get her powers. So I really liked it as the beginning. I'm just very interested to see what happens next. Yeah. The second book, I believe it was listed, but I don't think it was available, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Next up is Her Exception Part 3. This one was also Audible, 4 hours and 16 minutes. Started on the 13th, finished on the 16th. I rated this one 3.5 stars. So yeah, here it goes. It was a good book. For me, I think fake dating tropes work best in full-length novels versus novellas. It gives more time for the romance to be believable. I also like reading the progression. So that's just this personal thing that I just learned. Because I like a fake dating trope. Fake dating trope is cool. But in the novella, I was just like, I'm not believing this. Like, it was very hard to believe that this fake dating trope ended up like with them getting engaged so fast. And I think that's just because it was a novella. The progression was just so fast. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. So yeah, I think I just prefer it in full-length novels versus novellas. But that's just a personal thing that I just realized. But nothing towards like the book or whatever. It was fine. Next up is I Am the Dark That Answers When You Call, fantasy, YA horror. Also listened to this one. It was 11 hours. I started on the 7th. I finished on the 26th. This one was rated 3.75 stars. Here it goes. It was a really good book. It had been a while since I read the first book that I forgot some information. Also, Laura's self-sabotaging was so frustrating. Like, this girl cannot stop drinking and paying attention. That was mainly like the main thing about the book was her. She had spent so much time drinking and sleeping with girls or just doing whatever she wanted, and being so consumed in not even loss, but in confusion and in this very substance use state, that when everything came to head, what was going on with all these other characters, she was like, what? I'm so confused. I'm the one that recruited her. What? I was just like, girl, if you had paid attention, we wouldn't be here in this situation. The entire story was that. Even up to the very end. We still don't know what's happening. She still don't know what's happening. Laura doesn't know what's happening. It kind of reminds me of that damn movie that I watched with my boyfriend. The new one that Tiana Taylor won the not the Grammy, whatever that award is, the Emmy Award for. That movie, it gave me that, because Leonardo DiCaprio's character was a dumbass. I hated that movie. He was just like all over the place. He didn't do what he was supposed to do. He was drinking, so he spent the entire movie flailing about. That was lore in this book, just flailing about. Like, I was just like, girl. I was so annoyed. But also the twist about her mom, shocked. Okay, I said, okay, that makes sense. I remember literally, like, I was making breakfast and I stopped and I stared out of our screen door, and the thing is, our neighbor across from us, she's always outside, so I didn't know if I made eye contact with her. Hopefully it wasn't weird, but yeah, that was shocking. That's how I feel about that one. Next up is Black Girl's Day Off. I believe this one is more middle grade than anything. I don't think this was YA. I mean, were they in middle school or high school? I can't remember. But fiction. Read this one, 234 pages. I started on the 11th. I finished on the 27th on my Kindle. I rated this one 4 stars. Here it goes. It was a good book, a quick read. It reminded me of like those very like nostalgic, very important episodes of like Sister, when Tamara wasn't sure if she was ready to go to college, and we saw her go through all the different storylines of Black leaders and making those very hard decisions. Like she was in the decision that Martin Luther King Jr. was deciding to go to college at like 14 years old, like that type of thing. So that's what the book very much reminded me of. Also the fact that this book didn't really focus on like just the struggles or just like the successes. It was very much like it focused on both aspects of being Black in America, and how with every success there is sacrifices. So there's always something that we've had to endure to have a success story or a successful point in history. Yeah, and also that it all leads to achievements beyond what we believe that we were able to achieve. Like I feel because the progression of the girls when they were going through each scenario all the way up to Obama's election, just seeing like all the things that we have gone through, from like the sacrifices and the successes, but also the problems along with that, with palm colored people ruining everything that we have worked so hard for, or hiding names, taking people's prototypes, slapping their names on it like they discovered it when they did it, that type of thing. But to like all the different things, all the trajectories, all the different steps and things that we've navigated to get to the point where we actually had Obama as president twice. Okay. And he did his best. They aged him in that White House, okay? My man was going through it, okay? Barack was going through it. So I'm happy that he is living his best life. Michelle's living her best life. Everyone's doing great. So yeah, but the fact that we have navigated centuries, basically, decades of all of the things that we have gone through, but all the successes along the way, it's very much a it's a journey. I will say that it's a journey, but the book was really good. I liked it. One of the girls, Diamond, Diamond gave me a headache sometimes. Sometimes she was funny. Sometimes she gave me a headache because this girl was acting a little bit slow. I was like, girl, your phone don't work. Stop it. Everyone's like, Diamond, calm down. Something's wrong with you. But at the end, when they actually were at the house for Obama's election, she was like, I'm about to eat these wings. I said, end it. Because girl, all that trouble, I'd be like, I'm hungry and I'm tired. I'm going home. Okay, I'm done. You guys have pissed me off. All right, moving on to the next segment, which is Substack posts. So I actually made not that many Substack posts for January. Not that I remember. Let me go to my Substack. So I did a post about the woman in the yard, because I've seen some reviews on it. I don't like any of the reviews. A lot of the reviews are from palm-colored men, which was highly annoying. They were just like, oh, this is a terrible movie. I don't get it. I was just like, I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood for this. I'm not. And this was after I watched the movie, because I was like, I want to watch the movie anyway. No one's going to tell me anything that's not going to make me want to watch the movie. I'm going to watch the movie regardless. I don't care. It was after watching the movie when I saw those reviews. I was like, y'all are just some idiots. Y'all pissed me off. So yeah, I did a post on it, because the movie is a lot deeper than the reviews I've seen. And I don't know if because the video ones I've seen were mainly by palm-colored men. The written ones from like companies, labels, or whatever you can call them, movie review sites or whatever. I don't know who wrote them. I don't know their ethnicity. I don't know their race. I don't know their gender. But they all sucked, to be honest, to me. Like, they didn't they didn't give this movie a fair chance to me. I feel like this movie, especially if you haven't dealt with any mental illness or just mental health struggles in general, if you have never dealt with any of those kind of things, or if you've never experienced loss, you will not understand this movie. I feel like it really just appeals to, not to say that it's like, it just appeals to like one specific person, but if you haven't experienced that type of thing, that kind of trauma or that kind of experience, you won't fully understand the movie. I have. And I completely get this movie. I absolutely love this movie. And so my post, I won't like go into details of exactly everything that I said in it. But pretty much I just really analyzed it through the relationships between the entire family, really, and how losing her husband and the kids losing their dad and how that really impacted them, but also the fact the woman in the yard, which, spoiler alert, it's her, the woman in the yard really represents her suicidal ideation. I think she really just represented that. She represented the mom's struggles with everything, because she even saw the woman right before the car accident happened. They were at the restaurant. Literally, her husband was thinking about, like, I think he was thinking about getting a divorce. Like, he was like really saying, like, we're really struggling in this marriage. And literally, they get in the car, she sees the woman, and then they have a car accident. I think literally the woman in the yard is just a representation of her own, like, depression, her suicidal ideation, a lot of her mental health struggles. And I think that the woman had always been there, and it really just comes up in like extreme situations, like her husband considering divorce, or at least having these really hard conversations about their marriage, and then after his death, seeing her again. Like, and the fact that as the woman gets closer, that's when the family starts to experience a lot more stress, a lot more struggle. Like, that's when the mom starts to act out more. That's when the son, Taylor, starts to get more aggressive. And the daughter, she becomes more afraid as the woman gets closer. Like, I feel like it's all part of the representation of the journey. The only thing that I didn't really care for was the dog dying, but that's just common in horror movies where the pet dies. But everything else is such a huge aspect of mental health, mental illness, depression, suicidal ideation, the entire journey. The movie is that deep. And the people who gave those reviews, they didn't get it. They didn't get it, or they didn't want to get it, or they just simply just didn't like the movie because it wasn't a whole bunch of jump scares and boobs flying around or whatever. I don't know. It wasn't your typical horror movie. It's very much a horror movie. It's more psychological horror than anything. And also the family dynamics too. So like, if those are things that you're interested in or things that you understand, like family dynamics, mental health, depression, suicidal ideation, grief and loss, like if you don't truly know that experience, or you don't really understand it, or you're not fascinated just by like human behavior and that type of thing, this movie wasn't gonna, you're not gonna like vibe with this movie the way that others will vibe with this movie, like how I understood it, because this movie was heavy. I said, ooh, yeah, it's a good movie. I would probably rate it 4 stars. I wouldn't give it 5 stars, but I would definitely give it 4 stars. It was a really good movie. It does make you think a lot, and it's very sad. It's a very sad movie. Yeah, but I did my first post on that for the month, and yeah, because that's just my opinion. I just think that if you haven't experienced like loss or anything like that, or mental health issues, mental illness, then you're not gonna understand the movie in the depth that it needs to be understood. You're just gonna write it off as like, oh, it was just a terrible horror movie. It was just all in one house, and it was on one property, and nothing else happened. Like, no, there was a lot that was happening. Just not, it wasn't overt, like ghosts like coming in, slashing throats or anything like that, or people like going like crazy to the point of like killing each other type of thing. It wasn't like intense like that, but it's mentally intense. Okay, you're sitting there and you're watching the family literally suffer in agony over and over again from beginning to end. Like, it amps up. I'm just saying, that's just my opinion. The second post I have was just that my 2025 review of like all the goals that I had and everything like that, and how this year I don't have any goals. I don't have goals for anything. I'm vibing this year, okay? I'm just having fun. I'm just hanging back. I'm chilling, and yeah, that's all I'm doing, to be quite honest. The next one I did was the Black horror experience, because last year I read a lot of like Black horror books. I read a lot of them, and so really I was just making a post on the Black horror experience in the genre. So the Black horror in terms of like race, slavery, mental health, the very like heavy subjects, and also tying that in with like horror concepts, and how we loved, how we're always trying to, how I'm trying to understand is that we're always trying to separate ourselves from extremely like not all the time, but like there's like certain things that we don't always want to watch slave movies. We don't always want to watch this type of movie, but then we pair it with horror, and then it turns into a completely different aspect of Black horror that's highly entertaining that we love to watch. Like Get Out. It is a story. It's a horror story, but it's a lot of racial there's a lot of, not even undertones. There's a lot of racial overtones, manipulation, coercion, type of thing like that, but tied in with horror of like mind control, like that type of thing. Like there's different aspects of these major topics and combining it with like horror elements, and making that into like this whole Black horror experience that can be traumatizing, but also at the same time cultivates different understanding and reflection on certain issues, with also tying it to like fantastical horror elements. Yeah, I think that's like just trying to kind of say about that. And my last one was a post about Davy and Paxton from for my show. My brain is like lagging right now. From Never Have I Ever, and just really focusing on like that type of like that first not even, because it may not always been like your first relationship in high school, but that kind of relationship in high school where it's like you feel like you're dating someone that's like out of your league on both sides, because Davy felt like Paxton was out of her league, and so she was deeply insecure. She wasn't dealing with she wasn't really dealing and processing with the fact of losing her father, and also with Paxton being deeply insecure because he wasn't academically smart. He didn't push himself in school, but to be with someone like Davy, who is a powerhouse at school, people judge Davy, but Davy's a smart kid, and she's confident. She's very self-aware. She can be a little bit chaotic, but she is that academic. She's that academic student, and she's very confident in that side of her, and being able to present herself in that kind of way. And I think that Paxton also kind of was not only just jealous of Davy, but also jealous of Ben, because Ben was at the same level as Davy. So he kind of felt like he couldn't compare to Ben because Ben was more like Davy and he wasn't. And so he was really struggling with that in their relationship as well, feeling inadequate. So it was just really just talking about that relationship, but also just like that kind of relationship in general that we've all had in high school, elementary school, middle school, whatever, when you started dating. But we all had that kind of experience, that kind of relationship where both parties felt insecure in different ways, and maybe I didn't know it, we didn't identify it because we're stuck in our own head. We're dealing with our own side of the situation, but being able to see it from both perspectives in the show and really just emulating that. My phone is dead. But I did want to talk about a post that I did read, a few posts that I did read. I did a post back in December, but It was a post through Blackstack, Jackie Verbal. I love following her on Substack. She has amazing pieces. And so the post was, they won't do it for Black writers, they just do it for the famous ones. And it was really, her post really focused on the validation from different platforms, especially on Substack, how like certain people are what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word. Not monetized, but like verified. There are certain people who are verified on Substack and those who are not. And a lot of the times it's not Black writers on Substack who write very amazing pieces. It's always very specific people that are verified, or the fact that it's a lot of the ones that are famous, those who are verified Black writers are famous ones. They aren't ones that have been like writing for years or whatever, but it's like verifying those who have like just got on the platform just because they have like a name or whatever. And it's like, oh yeah, we'll give you a mark. But it was very much focusing on just the fact that not getting that sense of validation or attention on Black writers. And so I brought up in the comment, I can't see the full post, she put it on paid. I was able to see it before, but I can't see it now like all the way through, but I did comment under it. And I really just said that a lot of the times it feels as if like the reason why it's harder for us to get that validation, to get that verification, is because we also struggle with this pressure to be perfect in everything that we do. And so then I went on to do my own separate post, and I, tied it back to her. I credited her, just saying that when it comes to being on this journey as a writer, being a Substack writer, or just like being a Black creator in general, we struggle a lot with the fact that we feel this need that everything needs to be perfect, and we need to write everything needs to be perfect. Our pieces need to be perfectly written. We need to have like the best pictures. We need to exude such extreme levels of work. Everything needs to be very, very specific. Everything has to be amazing. And the fact that we get that pressure not only from society, but we also put that pressure on ourselves because of things of like Black girl magic. Not to say that Black girl magic is bad, but just like that innate pressure to do everything right, to do everything good the first time, it leaves a lot of us struggling to appreciate everyone's beginning stage of work. Not everything is going to be perfect right out the gate. Like, I think it was like some other posts, not exactly a post here, but like in the group chat, because I'm part of the group chat, some people were saying like, oh, I've been writing this piece for 2 months. I just wanted to make it perfect. Why does it need to be perfect? Where there's this lack of love and appreciation for the beginning of someone's journey, their beginning work. And I even said it like in my post too, like I struggle with this too. It's like following the people that have 2 followers. Follow them. Check out their stuff. Check out their first post. Like their first post. Like, just give them some love, because the beginning journey isn't easy. It's messy. We're going to have we're gonna have terrible setups. Our lighting's gonna be terrible. Like, half the damn time when I make my YouTube videos, my lighting isn't always perfect. It still isn't. It never will be. Like, even if you're here on this channel or on my main channel, I have been through so much of just like wanting things to be perfect, of like making sure I have like the perfect thumbnail, make sure I have the perfect title, all of which is so stupid and so annoying, because everything in this algorithmic world, when it comes to like YouTube, Instagram, everything like that, everything has to be so perfect. It's so stupid. Just post it. Just do your best, okay? Our lighting is always going to be off. We're going to misspeak. We're going to misspell. We're going to have cringy posts. We're as Black women, we're going to have like these mistakes. So we need to love each other in those mistakes, or love each other in those beginning stages, and allow us to navigate these spaces as creatives in the way who we are. It's not going to be perfect, and our work, it doesn't have to be perfect, and we don't need to put our pressure on ourselves, and just to love each other and appreciate each other's beginnings, middles, the switching channel names, changing banners, like just loving and appreciating ourselves in the in between stages, in the beginning stages, and all that kind of stuff. Just being able to really love our work and love all stages of our work. It doesn't have to be perfect. And that's the thing, like it's always like the perfect thing or the one thing that gets pushed in an algorithm, and then people expect that level continuously, and then it's hard to keep up. See, that's what I'm saying, like this algorithmic thing on every platform, on Instagram, Threads, over on Threads, it ain't like that. Not for me. My Threads, we all over the place. All right, so I had to free up some space. But yeah, that's not really, I just wanted to say, it's just not putting pressure on ourselves for everything to be perfect, and loving each other's all the stages of content creation and writing and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but that post, Jackie actually posted it in her own separate post, so she like tagged me back in it. People have been loving it because it's so true, and I feel like it's everyone, it's all of our journeys to just do better with that, especially as Black women, to not really put that pressure on ourselves too much, and also not to put that high pressure on each other either, because not everybody's gonna write these amazing pieces, and pieces are amazing anyway, as long as you're putting your heart in your writing and whatever you're writing, as long as it's not harmful to yourself or somebody else, do it, write it. Like I'll read posts from people, they're just like diary entries, love it, all the time. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and just pull up a few of the ones I've read lately. Yeah. So I actually started one from Notes from a Trap Feminist about Glorilla's nose job might be the realest thing about her. I don't follow Glorilla. I don't know anything about her. I'm only like a few more minutes left in this post, but I'm never gonna read it. I read a lot of Black Stack. So I read Jackie's post from Chronicles of Change, 3/5 My Black Ass. That one was good. I made a comment on that one. I am almost done with an article called The Art of Letting Go from creator Get Out of My Head, Takor, I think it's pronounced Takor Clody. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. So I definitely love reading just any post that comes my way. I get a lot of them in my email, but a lot of the times I'll forget, and I'll like get in my email, and then I'll have to like jump to the app, but then I'll be like working or whatever, and then I can't get back to it, something like that. But I definitely have plenty emails that I've gotten to read the post, because you can read it there. You can read it on the Substack app, on the platform too. I read it either way, depending on, but like I love to read it on the Substack, because then I can comment just straight away. I can go ahead and like it. I don't have to like jump to the thing and back and forth, but I prefer to do it that way. So I have a lot of pieces from Kamori, I think how I pronounce her name, Kamori Rose. I have some posts of hers that I need to read, because I do follow her and I get the email, so I have plenty of hers I need to read. There actually is a post I saved called 11 Novels Coming by Black Women in 2026, because I love to keep up with books coming out. So I just have that immediately bookmarked. I'm saving that so I can always come back to it for books that are being released by Black women this year. I read a little bit of Exalted Filmifiable by Just Latasha about Barbarian and women's inhabited fear of men. That one was really good. I think I had paid to read that one, or at least I was able to read it before she put the paid thing on there, something like that. But I did read it. Fire. Because I loved Barbarian, especially at the very beginning, that whole dynamic between the female character and the male character before Bartleby shows up and all that mess happens. Yeah, that was a very interesting dynamic, because that's really what her entire piece is about. It's that fear of men and being in that type of situation, being in a house, you have nowhere else to go, it's dark, you don't know this man, he's being weird, he's giving you a bottle of wine. It was like all the things when you watch the movie, if you've seen the movie, the very beginning, it's a lot of the innate fears that we have of men, and everything. You think that something's wrong with this guy, and there's not. I'm gonna tell you that much. There's nothing wrong with him, but it's that immediate fear of men and being in these type of situations, in these very uncomfortable situations where you have no way out. Yeah, it gets messy. I did read From Goal Girly to Manifestation Maven, Building My 2026 Vision Board. I'm almost done with this one. I just love seeing different ones pop up. So I've never, I don't think I follow Just Got a Yap. I think so, maybe. But yeah, this post popped up and I'm almost done reading that. I read Wine Writers and a Book Sale You Don't Want to Miss by D.L. White. So books, things that are going on, and a book sale that is actually from someone that I do follow, Jackie I. And I follow her on Substack. I follow her on Instagram. I follow her on Threads. Yeah. And she is a writer. She writes very like whimsical Black characters. I love her vibe. I bought her books. They got sent to the wrong address, so I'm waiting for my mom to send them here. Because I haven't used my Barnes and Noble in so long, and I had a gift card from my grandma for Christmas, so I bought a few of Jackie I's books along with some like notebooks to have, because there were some books I was just like, I could actually buy it now or I can just wait. So I ended up getting notebooks because I'm obsessed with having notebooks, and I also just want to have like more notebooks for like book reviews and different stuff like that. But I did get 2 of her books. And so she is doing a book sale, and there's actually going to be a usable catalog so you can go in and click. The book sale is going to be happening in April, I believe so. I put the link in the description box below. I also shared it over on Substack too. I shared it over in Shelby in the Book Club Discord, because I was like, I'm gonna need y'all to know, okay? And literally when Jackie posted, she was like, oh my god, y'all have, because it's a free event. You're really just, you're getting access to the catalog, and you can go in and buy books from different Black authors, some indie Black authors, traditionally published ones. It just seems like a cool event. It's free. You just get a ticket and you could just buy books when the book sale comes up. And they're gonna be like at heavily discounted rates, and the authors who are gonna be in there, I think a few of them I do follow, so I was like, ooh, yes. And I got a job now. Hello. Give me the books, okay? So definitely I'm gonna be up in there in April. I also read Shelby's post about Jeanette McCurdy's new book, Half His Age. I haven't read it yet. I'm gonna read it because I love Jeanette McCurdy. I read the first one, I'm Glad My Mom Died. And so this one, in Shelby's post, she was just like, what is going on? Like, this is weird. I feel like the book is just like very controversial, and also just the way that Jeanette McCurdy is writing it. And so I'm interested in understanding a little bit more of Jeanette McCurdy's mind, not just her experiences with her mom and what she had been through with being on Nickelodeon and her experiences of her childhood, but how her mind works when it comes to writing fictional books and how she creates these stories. So I'm very interested in reading Half His Age, because I just want to understand her where her head is at, how she writes creatively. Maybe is she more of like a controversial writer? Does she take like these certain things, these certain narratives, and she spins them? Because I know the book is based off of a relationship that she had, an experience that she had. I know it's related to that. It's based off of that, but I want to just know more. I'm curious. So definitely gonna read it. Another Black Stack post, I'm gonna come back Black every time. Absolutely loved it. A different post called I'm Proud of the Number of People I Didn't Cuss Out Last Year. To the girl whose body is no longer attractive to her man. I just love different posts. I love reading different things. People that I follow, or I'll see it like on my main feed. So if you're on Substack, you have like the people that you follow, but you also get posts from people that you don't follow. I'll just like find a post that they'll put up, like it, and I'll just immediately subscribe to their stuff, because I'm just like, yep, my entire Substack feed is blackity black. Every now and then, the ones when I first started my Substack, there were a few palm color people I've unsubscribed, because there was nothing there that was resonating with me, and a lot of their stuff was paid. Like, you had to pay to read like every single freaking post. I was like, no, get off my feed. No, there's nothing in here that's free for me to read, and nothing that I connect to. And I read a variety of things. Like, I love Black Stack, okay? And Black Stack, she also posts other people's work too as well. Jackie actually has her own, she runs all of this herself. I'm gonna tell you this now. This is a one-woman show. Love her. Love her. I'm actually part of the writing club now. So we meet on the second, I think it was like the second Tuesday or second Wednesday of every month. We started in January. So I'm excited for next week's thing for February. When I'm filming this, I'll probably put this up as soon as possible. But yeah, I'm excited. And I follow her work, and then she'll she has other people who post, so she'll put their post there, and then I'll go to that person's post, I'll read it, and I'll follow them. And it's just, I love Substack. It's a chain of just amazing work, people just writing everything from the heart, from like diary entries, like Jackie I, she has like her entries of just like what it's like, what her experience is like, just being a Black woman, of like dating or whatever, or lack of dating. I love people's posts of like shows, movies, or like mental health, anything. I just love it. I love it all. Like looking at my feed right now, there's a post for archiving the sound, protecting the legacy, how Black music survived, saving that. So I can read that. And this is from the Black Girl House, and this was posted in December. But I'm definitely going to subscribe. Like, immediately, I just have so many amazing Black people that I follow. I can barely keep up, but it's truly amazing. Absolutely love it. I have never heard of Don Lemon before, but I'm going to follow. After seeing the whole situation that happened with him being arrested and his man coming to get him, yes, I don't know who you are, Don Lemon, but I'm going to know now. Okay, I followed Dr. Raquel Martin over on Instagram, so I know her work. See, it's like it's so interesting to see them pop up as people to follow, because these are people that you've seen on other platforms and now they're making Substacks. It's just such a blackety-black space, and I absolutely love it. At least the side that I'm on, because there's definitely palm-colored people. There's a lot of people of many races, ethnicities, writing all these different pieces, and there are these like elite people or whatever, when they're like, oh, the top writers or whatever, or like, you know, the top not Black Stack, but the top writers and their things or whatever. And some of them, I'm like, that does not look entertaining to me whatsoever. It's nothing that I vibe with, nothing that I connect with, so I just don't follow them. I do follow a few that are writers based, so they'll have like a few posts that are free, that'll show you like different writing jobs, so I love to follow those, so then I know where to apply. That's how I ended up applying for a fellowship this year, actually. In January, I actually applied for the Martha Vineyard Fellowship for the Voices of Color. And a lot of the times, finding out these kind of opportunities, just searching, is so hard to find because there's so many. But then when you get to a certain post and you're scrolling through all of it, and there's so many different ones for different people, they have like different expectations, different rules or whatever. It's like, you need to live in this area, or you need to be indigenous, or like there's so many like different like stipulations for those, and it's so hard to find ones that I feel like I could apply for, that I could connect to. But also when it comes to certain ones that I really like, and I'm thinking about applying to, but then when I get to like their main topic or what you're supposed to be writing about, it's not inspiring enough for me to write that, and it feels like I don't want to push myself too hard to write something just for the sake of writing something to apply for this. Like, I want to feel I want to feel like I can do this, I can write this piece, or pieces I've already written and I know that would be a really good piece for specific fellowships or different writing opportunities, for writing contests. And sometimes, like, obviously there'll be like the word limit or whatever, and it doesn't, you know, the piece that that piece I have in mind for it, it doesn't work. Sometimes I'll rewrite a new one. Sometimes I'll just let the opportunity slide because certain things just don't align, and it's totally fine. But finding about Martha's Vineyard one was through Substack. Finding out those different fellowships and all those different opportunities is a lot of fun. I love just finding amazing people to follow, reading a lot of different posts on here. I do want to talk about the posts, but I feel like I want to talk about the posts. I will for like a few of them. But I feel like it's such a sacred space on Substack that I'll probably like reserve those purely for Substack posts that I'll be doing on there. But I do want to talk about like TVs or movies or anything like that, anything that I'm interested in, and things that I would make as a Substack post, but also tie that here to YouTube. So trying to find a way to like if you follow me on Substack, you'll be able to access the video type of thing. I'm trying to like navigate how to do content like this on Substack that's not just writing. Videos, maybe the podcast. I don't know. I don't want to do a podcast though, but like videos, but just like making the link just for those who are on my Substack. So if you want to see the video, you have to be on my Substack to get access to that video type of thing. So I'm trying to like navigate that. But yeah, I just love Substack. It's so much fun. It's a lot. I had like a long list of things that I bookmarked, and I went through like a lot of them because I was like, I gotta read a lot of these. I still have a lot on my list right now. Okay, not too much. Like there's actually a post here under my save where it's like all of the Masters in Fine Arts applications and deadlines for fall of 2026. So like that kind of stuff that I struggle with, like when it comes to researching and just getting overwhelmed by all the different results and all the different things. I love a Substack post that just puts everything together for me like this, and I could just go to links and click them and just have everything here. Like I also have a post here for Lessons from the Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, because I've never read a Toni Morrison book, but I do have The Bluest Eye. I actually do have a few of her books, and I do want to get into her work. And so I saved the post. So after I read it, I will be reading that post and I'll be commenting. So just being more engaging in things that I'm interested in and things that I want to consume more of. So like there's another post of like essential Black literature lists of different authors to read. So I saved that one too from Shana Miles author. Shana, hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly. And that's just a list of Black literature. So I could always come back to that. I saved that because I don't want to lose it. I can always go back to that list if I don't have the book, or if there's like someone on the list that I want to read at the moment, I can just go to it. Yeah, and then there's a post called Reading Toni 2026 where this Substack writer, Relearnings, they're doing a Toni Morrison challenge for the year, reading all the books in order. And so I plan on doing that. I do have, because The Bluest Eye is first, so I do have The Bluest Eye. I have Sula. I have Song of Solomon. So I have those first three ones. I do not have Tar Baby. I do not have Beloved. I don't have the other ones. So the fact that I do have the first three ones, I can go ahead and get started. And then with the other ones, I can go ahead and buy the books and then read the books in order and do Substack posts related to the books, because I want to do more content like that with tying the work that I read, those stuff that I read and the stuff that I watch, because I do have a separate thing on there called The Failing Black Girl, which is just like different things within our community that I haven't consumed, movies I haven't seen, books I haven't read, and become more familiar with it. Read those books. Do my own separate research, just reading my own research on Toni Morrison, watching documentaries type of thing. So really taking it as like a learning experience for myself, because there's movies that I've never seen before. Like y'all probably gonna hate me for this, but for my Black people that follow me, there's a lot of Black movies I haven't seen. Like I haven't seen Poetic Justice. Y'all gonna kill me. Like I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Soul Food. There's just so many movies I just haven't seen. And I think that's mainly just because I wasn't exposed to it growing up. And then also as you get older, a lot of those movies were for older people. Like when I was 7, I wasn't supposed to be watching Soul Food. Like, I'm just saying, like I feel like a lot of the movies are for specific different ages and different generations, and for the time that they were made for them. While I'm over here watching Blue's Clues, I wasn't supposed to be watching How Stella Got Her Groove Back. I watched that last year because it makes more sense, because I'm grown. It makes more sense now for me to watch it because I'm grown. I could have watched it as a teenager, but I didn't know that. I didn't know. There's certain things like that, things I haven't been exposed to, and certain content that certain movies I haven't seen that I now I want to watch. I want to be part of those conversations and those stories and get to know these characters and truly understand a lot more. So doing my own work and doing that kind of thing. But yeah, that's literally everything that I love about Substack. Things I've been reading, things I've been posting, ideas that I have. Yeah, there's oh, I forgot. But yeah, there's just like a lot of different things that I love to do. And that's everything that I've been up to so far in January. But I am currently reading Razorblade Tears. I am also currently reading The Seven Daughters of Dupree. Like I said, I have 4 hours left of that. And then I will probably be getting into Toni Morrison. I don't know if I'm going to read this Alice Feeney books because they're both Audible. If anything, I might listen to one. I don't know about the other one. I'm not sure. Because sometimes I just I do it out of habit because I'm just like, ooh. But, yeah. Oh, I have, If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies. And it's pretty much about why AI could kill us all. So I'm definitely going to listen to that. That's only 6 hours. I'm definitely going to listen to that. But I need to finish The Seven Daughters of Dupree. Someone's waiting for that. 10 people are waiting for My Husband's Wife. That one's only 9 hours long, so I might just listen to that one. But yeah, that's all that I am currently reading, want to get through, and my journey so far in the beginning of this year, really. Yeah, that's everything that I wanted to cover. This video is going to be long as hell, but, you know, hopefully you guys watch it, you guys enjoy it. If you're interested in anything that I'm talking about, if it sounds interesting to you, if you want to follow me on Substack, go right ahead. I'll put the link in the description box below. If you want to check out Blackstack, I'll put that link in the description box below as well. If you're interested in any of the books that I've talked about, if you would like a specific review on one of my books that I read, that I will be, if you're like, oh, I would like for you to talk about this one. Like, I've read it and I would love to hear, like, your opinion type of thing. If you want that, please let me know that in the comments below. Yeah. So that's all I have for you guys. So until next time, stay magical.